welcome back to the show from the Michigan Department of Transportation, Jackson TSC Manager, Kelby Wallace. Hey, Kelby.
Good afternoon, Bart. How are you?
I'm good. And you?
Good. Real good.
Welcome back. We're in the summer construction season.
Yeah, you know, I drove through lots of barrels and cones on my way here just from north of 94 to come down. And as we'll talk about soon, we got a few more kicking off here next week. In addition to our projects that have been going on for the last couple months.
Yeah, well, as you promised, when the 94 project began, it was going to be beautiful when it was done, and it truly is. It's amazing. And people talk about, wow, Jackson, it's, you know, so beautiful that we have such a nice gateway.
When I'm out and about going to baseball tournaments or basketball tournaments, talking to people in the whole, you know, southern Michigan, up to Lansing, I get compliments a lot if somebody finds out, you know, that I'm from this area and I work on the roads and bridges, and you know that really sticks out to them. I think when they come through town, they remember that. Wow, that looked nice. You know, Jackson looked nice when I drove through. So, you know, I think that was a good thing that we worked with the city and county and made those bridges look like kind of landmarks that are going to be around for a long time, because they will. They'll be there for a long time.
Yep, awesome welcome mat for the community. So we've got a few things to talk about today. Downtown, we've got the Jackson Street Bridge.
Correct. The Jackson Street Bridge. I just got a little video here, just kind of showing you what we talked about. You know, how things can look nice. You know, we put in that extra texturing, the brick pattern on the walls, the concrete walls of that bridge. You know, a new sidewalk on both sides, and you know, it just kind of becomes a structure people can be proud of. And our photographer was going out and just kind of taking some video of down there. And this was, I thought, in a good angle, kind of looking towards downtown. I think that was off of our drone or down there. And it just kind of shows you how nice that looks when somebody happened to be maybe coming under that bridge, coming into downtown Jackson.
It's amazing. It's like, wow, what city is this? Is this St. Louis?
Yeah.
No, it's amazing.
Yeah, and you got the development there on the right that has been built up in the last 2-3 years, right there at the corner of Louis Glick and Jackson, the lofts there, and then you got I think that's the Comerica Bank building that's brand new there, and it's just a lot of, maybe people don't realize it because they pop up one at a time, but all of a sudden you're like, wow, there's a whole bunch of new buildings there too.
Yeah, so. And I think we have a live shot from the JTV Skycam. There it is. You can see it through the satellite dishes.
It's kind of looking the opposite direction of the picture that we just had on there.
Yeah, what a difference, both Jackson and McKinnick Street. Huge project, but yeah, again, it's beautiful when it was done. Let's see, the 94 project, just yesterday you closed Deering Road. Yeah,
so that's starting to phase in. Our next major milestone of that project is the Deering Road interchange. We closed the 2 eastbound ramps today. And we'll be closing the bridge over 94 and the westbound ramps next Friday.
Oh, wow.
After school is out. Okay. So that's kind of when it really starts, and we're going to totally tear apart all those ramps, put in the roundabouts, and then make repairs to that bridge over top of I-94.
Well, definitely the entrance and exit to 94 at Deering Road, I think it's been dangerous because you really can't see far enough down as you're pulling off the highway, particularly when you're going westbound. So that'll all be completely new.
Correct. Yep. That's one of the things we're improving completely is the sight distance as you exit off there and looking over that bridge. We'll have a lot more room with those roundabouts. So we're excited about that. That's going to take place till about Labor Day. We kind of time that to happen when school was generally out there, but we've worked with Jackson County to make some improvements down at the Deering Road and Michigan Avenue intersection on the traffic signal, and some additional signage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, add in a green turn arrow, we call it. We call it left turn phasing, but most people understand it as that little, the green left turn arrow, right, to let those left turns go on their own.
Yeah, once the elementary school is open, that's going to be a much busier intersection. So,
correct.
Good anticipation for future needs.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of it's just a country
intersection right now, but there's major stuff. School
Right.
and Mackey there too.
Correct. Yep. Thankfully, I think sometimes their shift change is different than the school hours, but sometimes those can overlap, and I think there can be quite a bit of traffic there at that intersection. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, City of Jackson, you've got some things you're working on.
Yeah, so kind of recap, a big stage change is happening on our what we call our South Cooper Bridge, down there between High Street and Morrell. Southbound was detoured for about the past month and a half.
I know.
I've followed that detour a couple times. I kind of
Yeah.
take, I think I've been taking MLK down south and cutting over back to Cooper to go around it, because I head towards Brooklyn sometimes, and if I go through the city, I can't go down Cooper.
No,
But-
and you can't go down High because that's closed at
Correct.
Melrose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But starting Thursday, which is tomorrow, we're going to detour northbound now. So southbound we'll be able to go down South Cooper, but those folks coming into the city will have to follow our detour to get around that bridge work.
It's interesting bridge in that it's a bridge that really goes over nothing. It was railroad tracks
Correct.
many years ago, but that's since been abandoned. So was there any thought to just leveling that whole thing? And
A little bit, although I think the city, we've had some kind of on and off discussion with the city. They would like to actually make that a formal trail
oh,
under there. Right now, I think they have a trail the paved trail that kind of turns and goes around that and goes down to Morrell
yeah.
and heads that way. They would prefer to have that trail go underneath that bridge still, but there are some property issues with the former railroad. The railroad hasn't given formal permission or sold the land to the city, and so the city didn't want to invest money on something they don't own, and so it's kind of caught on there. But I think the city's still trying to work through that. So, but if not, that could be an option in the future. That's why we didn't replace this bridge. We're kind of doing just some what we call our heavy maintenance repairs on it to keep it functioning and safe in the meantime until the long-term future is figured out of what we want to do there.
Still to be determined.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Cooper Street. Wait, MLK.
MLK, yep.
MLK.
So between Ganson and basically the railroad tracks or Louis Glick, we're going to be resurfacing that. Just kind of a real quick project. We'll do the sidewalk ramps, and actually we'll just kind of what we call mill. We remove the top 1.5 inches, and then we pave it back with a new 1.5 inches, kind of a surface course to maintain the roadway. It's not in horrible shape. It's just a little bumpy with a lot of cracks and potholes are starting to form. That's when we kind of want to put a new surface on it so it lasts longer. If you wait until it's rides like this, then you can't do that anymore because it's in too bad a shape. It's kind of like, I always tell people, it's kind of like replacing a roof on your house, right? If you do it while the roof is still in decent shape, you can just put a new set of shingles on it. But if you wait till the water gets down into your foundation or your walls, you got to tear it down.
Well, it looks like you've done a whole brand new road. I mean, from aesthetically, it's brand new, but is there a shorter lifespan?
Correct. Yeah, we figure we get 5 to 7 years out of like an 1.5 inches resurfacing. So that'd be on MLK from about, like I said, about Louis Glick and the railroad tracks up to Ganson. And that's going to start next week.
And the bridge, that bridge project in the Vandercook area, is that all done? The 127,
Yes.
50?
Yep,
Yeah.
we've got that one all wrapped up. Looks like all the grass is growing. Everything's kind of restored back the way it should be, so we've pretty much wrapped up any work down there. We kind of have to do some closeout paperwork, and we wait to make sure the grass is growing and there aren't any washouts and there aren't any defects before we close them out. But that one is, the work in the field's all done.
Now, I mentioned High Street was closed at Alro, and you did the High Street Bridge maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So what's happening in that area?
So that's actually a project, I believe it's the city's project.
Okay.
So I kind of don't hear a real lot of details about it, but I thought I've seen that there's been some traffic moving through there lately. So it looked like maybe it was getting close to finishing.
I'll go
but
try it out.
yeah,
Yeah.
check it out.
Is it a good idea to go around the road closed signs?
No,
No.
I would say don't.
you're putting yourself subject to maybe getting like fresh tar on your vehicle,
Yeah.
or getting lots of corrosive dust and things. And you know, if you go around a sign like that, the contractor's not going to be responsible to, you know, to make the repairs if you disobey the traffic control. Plus, you could be subject to getting a ticket from law enforcement if they happen to see that. If you're just, you know, through traffic and you ignore a road closed sign.
Or you could find yourself in the river.
Or you, worst case scenario, right? You're going to be in the river and put yourself in real danger.
Well, so many more people out traveling this time of year with construction going on. I know you always like the opportunity to remind people to be careful and make sure you slow down, particularly around construction, because the people working, they could be our brother and sister.
Absolutely, you know, and it, as I mentioned, we've got with that project starting on MLK in town, on M50 north of 127, up going towards Rives. We're going to have a kind of a quick resurfacing up there, where we're going to kind of take care of the surface, and we actually do what we call a chip seal with the stones, but then actually we're going to cover it with another layer. But that's going to be starting next week too. There's going to be flag control, stopping cars, and you have to alternate directions, and people get very impatient in that and can sometimes make some bad decisions. And so that's where I say, you know, we really, you know, yes, you might please plan ahead. You may run into a 5-10 minute delay in some of those flagging operations, but you know, if you speed around and disobey one of those flaggers, you're really going to put yourself in jeopardy, the workers' lives in jeopardy, and again, you know, you're messing with somebody's family when you do that, including your own. So have the patience, take a different route, leave early. I mean, the next 2 months are, unfortunately, Michigan's construction season is not as long as Arizona's, when you can work 12 months a year, right? We have about 6 months for doing a lot of good stuff, and so we have to cram it all in those 6 months, which really frustrates a lot of people. But this is the climate and world we live in.
Leave early, be patient, be nice. Be nice. That would be a great summer job. Stand out there with that pole that says stop on one side and slow on the other. Is that a plumb position?
So I think you need really thick skin, if you can imagine. The motorists we were just talking about, they aren't very nice to those flaggers, even though our flaggers are there to keep the traffic safe and orderly. People are just not good people.
No.
Sometimes.
Be nice to the flaggers.
There's some out there that are, but there's a lot that really do that. But they, you know, they do an important job out there to try to keep those work zones safe.
Yeah. Well, great to see you. Thanks for all that you and everyone on your team do, and good to have you here again.
Yeah, great to talk to you.
TSC Manager for Jackson for the Michigan Department of Transportation, Kelby Wallace. Well, next,